Hey everyone, my sisters, my daughters, my mothers, stand up. Stand up in your beauty and your power and your unwavering truth. For you, woman, are made of fire and moonlight, of thunder and tenderness, of iron and honey. You have been tried, you have been tested, but still you rise. There have been days when the weight of the world pressed against your shoulders, whispering, sit down, be still, be quiet. But you, blessed woman, were never made to shrink. You were never meant to disappear behind closed doors or dim your glow for the comfort of others. You have walked through storms barefoot, carrying burdens too heavy for most. You have wiped your own tears and turned them into rivers of wisdom. You have been told you can, and yet you did. You have been pushed down, and yet you rose. And oh, how you rose. Like the morning sun that refuses to be swallowed by the night, she bends but never breaks, like the willow that dances with the storm. A woman of resilience is not made of stone, nor is she unshaken by the tempests of life. She is flesh and spirit, heart and mind, molded by trials, yet never undone by them. When the winds howl and the rain lashes against her soul, she does not shatter. She moves, she sways, she leans with the force of struggle, but she does not fall. Like the willow that bows gracefully under the storm's fury, she understands that survival is not in resistance, but in the art of adaptation. She has faced battles not of her own choosing, heartbreak that tried to unmake her, loss that carved hollow spaces within her, rejection that whispered she was not enough, and yet she stands, not as she was before, but as something wiser, something deeper, something unshakable in spirit. Her strength is not in unyielding hardness, but in the softness that refuses to be destroyed. It is in the way she finds her rhythm again when the world has knocked her off balance. It is in the way she learns to laugh even after sorrow has tried to steal her joy. A resilient woman does not crumble when life shifts beneath her feet. She understands that to endure is to evolve. She does not waste time lamenting the winds that try to uproot her. She spreads her arms, catches the breeze, and lets it carry her forward. She does not break beneath the weight of struggle. She reshapes herself around it, making room for new strength, new wisdom, new beginnings. There are days when the world tries to convince her that she is fragile, that she must shrink herself to fit into the narrow spaces others have carved for her. But she knows better. She knows that softness is not weakness, that gentleness does not mean surrender. She knows that being resilient does not mean she must never fall, only that she must always rise. She knows that even when her voice trembles, even when her hands shake, she holds power beyond measure, the power to endure, to overcome, to thrive. She carries generations of women within her, women who have loved fiercely, fought bravely, and stood tall, even when the earth beneath them quaked. She is the embodiment of every story of survival, every lesson of perseverance, every whisper of hope passed down through time. She is the woman who finds light in the darkest corners, the woman who builds bridges over obstacles meant to stop her, the woman who does not just withstand storms, but learns to dance in the rain. And when the winds finally quiet and the sun breaks through once more, she does not stand as she was before. She stands taller, stronger, unshaken in spirit, unbowed in soul, because she has learned the truth of her nature. She is not made to be broken. She is made to bend, to move, to grow, and to rise. She is resilience. She is power. She is unstoppable. Her scars are not wounds. They are medals of survival, proof that she endured and conquered. A resilient woman does not hide her scars. She does not cover them in shame or speak of them in hushed tones. She wears them with pride, not because the pain did not touch her, but because it did, and still she stands. Each scar is a story, a chapter of her journey, a mark that says, I was there, I fought, I survived. They are not reminders of suffering, but symbols of strength. Proof that even when she was wounded, she refused to be defeated. Life has tested her in ways that words cannot fully capture. There were nights when sorrow curled around her like a heavy fog, days when she wondered if the weight of her struggles would ever lift. She has known betrayal, disappointment, and loss. She has cried silent tears into her pillow, hidden her pain behind a brave smile, and walked through fire with no promise of relief. And yet, here she is, whole, unshaken in spirit, radiant with the kind of beauty that only comes from enduring the storm and stepping into the light. A scar is not the end of a story. It is proof that healing has taken place. The wound may have been deep, but she did not let it consume her. She fought through the darkness, stitched herself back together with courage, and found a way to keep going. It is easy to let pain define you, to become bitter, to close yourself off. But she chooses another way. She chooses to let her scars be a map of where she has been, not a prison that holds her back. She chooses to embrace them as part of her journey, as evidence of battles fought and won. There are those who may look at her scars and see weakness. They may think she has been broken beyond repair, but they do not see what lies beneath. They do not see the fire in her eyes, the strength in her steps, the quiet resilience in her soul. They do not understand that scars are not signs of defeat. They are marks of triumph. Each one tells the world, I did not give up, I did not surrender, I am still here. She knows that pain changes people. It can make them fearful, hesitant, unsure of their worth. But she refuses to let pain steal her light. She refuses to let it make her small. Instead, she allows it to refine her, to shape her into something even more powerful. She walks with a confidence that is not born from an easy life, but from knowing she has survived the hardest days and emerged stronger. She does not flinch when new challenges arise, because she carries the proof of past victories on her skin, in her heart, in the depths of her soul. A resilient woman does not erase her past, nor does she let it define her. She acknowledges it, honors it, and moves forward with grace. She knows that true beauty is not in perfection, but in the ability to rise after falling. And so she stands proud, unafraid, radiant with the knowledge that she has conquered every battle meant to break her. She is not broken. She is not weak. She is a warrior wrapped in grace, a survivor clothed in power. And her scars, they are her crown. A resilient woman does not wait for doors to open. She builds her own. She has spent too much time knocking on doors that never opened, waiting for permission that never came, and hoping for opportunities that others held just out of reach. But she has learned something powerful. She is not meant to wait. She is not meant to stand outside, pressing her ear to the walls, hoping someone on the other side will recognize her worth. No, she is meant to create, to build, to carve her own path where none existed before. She has heard the word no more times than she can count. She has been overlooked, underestimated, dismissed. They told her she was too much, too bold, too ambitious. They told her she should be patient, that she should wait her turn, that she should shrink herself into something more manageable. But she knows better. She knows that waiting for permission is a trap, a way to keep her caged in a life smaller than the one she is meant to live. And so she stops waiting. She picks up the tools of her own making, her voice, her talent, her resilience, and she builds. She builds not just for herself, but for the women who will come after her. She knows that every step she takes makes the road a little easier for another woman to follow. She does not hoard knowledge or guard success like a secret. She extends a hand, lifts others up, and proves that there is space for all who dare to claim it. She does not see other women as competition. She sees them as allies, as sisters, as fellow warriors in the fight to create something greater. The world may not always welcome her with open arms, but she does not need permission to exist in her fullness. She does not ask, am I allowed to dream this big? She dreams anyway. She does not wonder, is there space for me here? She makes space. She does not whisper when she has something to say. She speaks, she roars, she declares her place in the world with unwavering certainty. She understands that the path to greatness is rarely smooth. She has faced setbacks, failures, obstacles that seemed impossible to overcome, but she does not let them stop her. If she cannot go through, she goes around. If she cannot go around, she climbs over. If the way is completely blocked, she creates a new one. She is relentless, not because it is easy, but because she knows she is meant for more. There will be moments of doubt, moments when fear tries to creep in, whispering that she is not enough, that she should settle, that she should stay where it is safe. But she remembers who she is. She remembers the women who came before her, who fought for every inch of ground she now stands on. She remembers the strength that runs through her veins, the fire that refuses to be extinguished. She does not wait for the world to recognize her worth. She knows her worth. She does not wait for doors to open. She builds her own, walks through them and holds them open for those who follow. Because she is a resilient woman, and nothing, not rejection, not doubt, not fear, will keep her from claiming her place in this world. Her voice is not an echo of fear, but a symphony of courage and truth. She was not born to be silent. She was not placed in this world to shrink into the background, to lower her voice so others could be comfortable, to speak only when spoken to. No, she was made to be heard. She was made to fill spaces with the rhythm of her truth, to speak words that carry the weight of experience, to let her voice rise above the noise and make the world listen. There was a time when she hesitated, when she swallowed her words because she feared judgment, when she bit her tongue because she was told it was not her place to speak, when she sat in rooms full of voices louder than hers and convinced herself that silence was easier. But a resilient woman does not stay silent for long. She learns, she grows, she finds her voice, and when she does, she never lets it be taken from her again. Her voice is not just sound, it is power. It is the voice of her ancestors, of the women who fought before her, of the stories that refuse to be forgotten. It is the voice of truth that will not be silenced, no matter how many times the world tries to quiet her. She has spoken when it was difficult, when her voice trembled, when her words felt like rebellion. But she spoke anyway, because she knows that her voice is not just for her. It is for every woman who has been told to stay in the shadows, for every girl who has been taught to be small. She does not speak to please, she speaks to be understood, to be felt, to be remembered. She knows that the truth is not always welcome, that courage is sometimes met with resistance, but that does not stop her. When she speaks, she does so with conviction. She does not ask for permission to be heard, she claims it. Her words are her weapon and her shield. She uses them to build, to heal, to empower. She does not waste them on battles that do not serve her, nor does she throw them away on ears that refuse to listen. She knows that her voice has value, and she does not let it be diminished. She chooses her words wisely, speaks with intention, and stands by what she says. She understands that a voice used for good is a force that cannot be ignored. It sparks change, ignites movements, shifts perspectives. She has seen how one voice, her voice, can inspire others to rise, to speak, to believe in their own power. She knows that a whisper can grow into a roar, that a single truth can break chains that have held for generations. And so she speaks. She speaks for justice, for equality, for love, for herself. She speaks with fire when needed, with grace when necessary, and with unwavering strength always. She does not echo the voices of fear, nor does she repeat the words of those who seek to keep her small. She is not an echo at all. She is an original, a force, a symphony of courage that will not be silenced. She stands, she speaks, she changes the world. One word, one truth, one moment at a time. 2/2, she walks through fire not to be burned, but to be reborn, stronger, wiser, unstoppable. A resilient woman has faced the flames of hardship, felt the heat of struggle, and stepped into moments that could have destroyed her. She has been tested, pushed, and stretched beyond what she thought she could endure, but the fire did not consume her. There were days when the weight of it all felt unbearable, when the road ahead seemed too long, when pain whispered that it would never end. She has walked through storms of doubt, through nights of uncertainty, through losses that tried to break her. She has known suffering intimately, but she has never allowed it to define her. Fire is meant to destroy, to reduce things to ash, to leave behind nothing but remnants of what once was. But not her. She does not fear the fire because she understands its purpose. She walks through it knowing that on the other side, she will not emerge weaker, but stronger. She will not come out as she was before. She will be wiser, sharper, more certain of who she is. She does not run from difficulty, nor does she crumble under its weight. She knows that pain has a way of refining the soul, that struggle can be a teacher, that every trial carries a lesson meant to mold her into something greater. She does not let hardship make her bitter, she lets it make her better. She has learned to embrace the fire, not as her enemy, but as the force that shapes her into something unbreakable. The challenges she faces are not punishments. They are opportunities to rise. She does not ask, why is this happening to me? Instead, she asks, what is this trying to teach me? She does not let wounds fester into regret. She lets them heal into wisdom. A woman like her does not shrink in the face of adversity. She does not bow to circumstances that try to limit her. She stands tall, walks forward, and meets life head on. She is not afraid of hardship because she has faced it before and come out stronger every time. And when she steps out of the fire, she is not the same. She is renewed. She carries with her the lessons, the strength, the resilience that can only be gained by walking through the flames and coming out on the other side. She is not defined by what tried to destroy her. She is defined by how she rose from it. She knows now that she is unstoppable. She knows that no matter what life throws her way, she will face it with the same courage, the same fire that has always burned within her. And so she walks forward, not afraid, not uncertain, but confident that whatever comes next, she is ready. The world may shake her, but it will never shatter her. She is rooted in strength, grounded in grace. She has known the tremors of uncertainty, the sudden storms that come without warning, the weight of burdens meant to break her spirit. She has stood in moments where the ground beneath her feet trembled, where everything she thought was steady seemed to crumble. But no matter how fiercely the world shakes, she does not fall. She is not fragile glass that shatters under pressure. She is the tree with roots that run deep, the foundation that cannot be uprooted, the presence that remains even after the storm has passed. She is not immune to struggle. There have been days when doubt crept in like a shadow, whispering that she was not strong enough, not capable enough, not worthy enough. There have been moments when the weight of expectations, of failures, of past wounds pressed heavily against her chest. But a resilient woman does not let those moments define her. She breathes through them, moves through them, refuses to be broken by them. She understands that strength is not the absence of struggle. It is the ability to stand tall despite it. She is grounded not just in power, but in grace. She does not fight every battle with force. She knows that some battles require stillness, patience, wisdom. She does not meet every challenge with anger. She understands that sometimes the greatest strength is in the quiet, in the way she carries herself with dignity, even when the world is unkind. She does not crumble under pressure. She bends, she adjusts. She finds a way to grow even in the most difficult circumstances. They have tried to shake her confidence, to tell her she is not enough, to make her question her worth. But she is rooted in something deeper. She knows who she is, knows the power she carries, knows that no storm can take away what is already planted within her. She does not rely on the world to tell her she is valuable. She knows she is, whether the world acknowledges it or not. She has learned to stand firm in her truth. She does not let fear push her into silence, nor does she let failure convince her to stop trying. She moves forward not because the path is easy, but because she refuses to be stopped. She holds her head high, not because she has never fallen, but because she has risen every single time. And even when the winds come again, even when the storms try to shake her once more, she will remain strong, steady, unwavering, because she is not built to break. She is built to endure, to rise, to thrive. She does not just survive, she thrives, turning every challenge into a stepping stone towards something greater. A resilient woman does not settle for mere survival. She does not wake up each day just to exist, just to get through, just to endure. No, she was not made for a life of quiet endurance. She was made to flourish, to rise above, to take everything that was meant to break her and use it to build something extraordinary. She does not stop at overcoming. She transforms, she grows, she thrives. She has known struggle intimately. She has fought battles that no one saw, carried burdens that no one else could understand. There were moments when she had nothing left to give, when exhaustion threatened to consume her, when she questioned if she could keep going, but she did. And now she stands not just as a survivor, but as something more, because she understands that life is not about avoiding hardship, it is about using it as fuel. She does not let pain define her, she lets it refine her. She does not let failure discourage her, she lets it teach her. She does not let obstacles stop her, she turns them into opportunities. She knows that every challenge carries a lesson, every setback holds a possibility, every moment of struggle is a chance to rise higher, and so she does. She refuses to live in the shadows of what tried to defeat her. She does not let her past mistakes, her heartbreaks, her disappointments keep her from stepping into the life she deserves. She does not let the scars of yesterday dim the light of tomorrow. She walks boldly, knowing that she has earned her strength, that she has fought for her happiness, that she has created her own success from the ashes of struggle. She does not just chase dreams, she builds them. She does not just wait for opportunities, she creates them. She does not just hope for a better future, she makes one. She knows that her journey is hers alone, that no one else can define it for her, that no one else can tell her what she is capable of. She writes her own story on her own terms, in her own voice. She carries herself with the quiet confidence of someone who has been through the fire and come out glowing. She does not need validation from the world because she has already proven to herself what she is capable of. She does not seek approval, does not beg for acceptance. She stands tall, knowing that she is enough exactly as she is. A resilient woman does not stop at survival. She refuses to simply exist. She chooses to thrive, to bloom, to claim every joy, every success, every piece of the life she has fought so hard to build. She knows she is worthy of more than just getting by. She is worthy of greatness, and she will never settle for anything less. She is a force, a light, a testament to the power of resilience. She has walked through fire and emerged stronger. She has faced storms and stood unshaken. She has turned pain into wisdom, silence into strength, and survival into triumph. She does not wait for doors to open, she builds her own. She does not seek permission to exist in her fullness, she claims her space with courage and grace. A resilient woman is not defined by what tried to break her, but by how she rose, how she thrived, how she turned every challenge into an opportunity for growth. She is proof that no struggle is wasted, no setback is final, and no dream is too big when pursued with determination. To every woman who carries strength in her soul, fire in her heart, and grace in her step, keep rising, keep building, keep speaking your truth. The world may test you, but it will never break you. You are made for more, and your journey is far from over. Good luck on your path, and may you always walk forward with courage. Thank you.